All right, guys, we are back. Oh, I can take these off now. I don't need to necessarily hear. So I am back now. We're going to do the comic book read of the section. I basically, hey, Pokey, how's it going? I've been so busy, you guys, trying to get my book up and ready for publishing. So we are on track for that, which is good. Let me just bring the slide a little closer to me. Hi, Pokey. Okay. All right. I hope you're well. I'm actually launching my book this weekend, so we can finally have all the calls and all the business stuff starting next week. Oh, you didn't. Oh, Pokey. Well, it just means to me that, like, the proper opportunity is just around the corner. My girlfriend, who's a teacher, she's been having a tough time trying to find a job these days, too. We'd had a little conversation about, like, nepotism as it comes to different industries and stuff. Like, when I first moved out to Toronto, I got a go-go dance job at government in, like, the first weekend. And I just feel like if I were to do that now in this day and age, just those opportunities are very gate-kept, especially in, like, the arts community. Like, if you just want to, like, work in film, it tends to be very, like... we will feed you kind of thing. It's like, yeah, but I need to, like, make rent. Like, even to busk in Toronto, you have to have a license, which is kind of like, but I'm a starving artist. How is that going to work? So there needs to be a better way. And Pokey, like, hopefully, if I crowdfund enough and proper, maybe I can, like, hire you to do some stuff for me on Discord and things like that, because you usually have to know someone. It sucks, right? Like, so that's why I think we end up with situations where we don't end up casting unknowns, and you don't end up with characters. Like, I'm playing Jessica Cruz right now. I'm Jessica Cruz, right? You don't know who Rachel is, right? Who's that kind of situation? So it's just also realizing, like, you are the magic within the characters that you love in certain things. And all that kind of good stuff. So I just came off of a live with Guy, Gardner, and Batman. I'm getting a Green Lantern ring, so that's kind of fun. I'm going to be having that on Monday, so stay tuned for that. We're going to have a follow-up show. Guy was getting pretty snarky about Hal, so we'll have Hal Jordan, Guy Gardner. We're gonna need a Kyle Rayner if someone's interested in cosplaying that. I'll put a little audition call sheet as of Saturday for a lot of my roles, since my studio, we just got I'm basically a member at a studio downtown called Studio in Kensington Market. We're, like, on top of a kung fu studio, so that's where my big launch party is happening this Saturday. If you want to join virtually, if you're not in Toronto, you can join. If you're a member of me on TikTok or on my Ko-Fi or on Patreon, you'll get the link to part of the show. Yeah. So it's going to be basically a launch for my first book, which is a young adult novel I wrote when I was 14, which I had to update heavily, which is what I've been doing lately, because I was getting it ready for publishing on Amazon on Kindle and paperback. And then I'm also designing my own cover. So that... all that stuff, like the bleed lines and, like, the print and all this kind of stuff, all the nitty-gritty details that go into, like, the publishing part of things. I'm like, this part isn't fun. I just wanted to write the book, right? Everything is happening on Saturday. So, once that is launched, in addition to the book launching on Saturday, and you'll be able to buy it on Amazon, I will give you guys, my beautiful TikTok viewers, a discount code for it. Because I do think it's more important for the story to get out there than, like, I'm not really doing this to make a profit. Although I would love to. Like, I have this vision of, like, art. I had a numerology book that I was, like, reading through, because I'm the type of person who, like, when something, like, hits, like, when you find out about something and you go down this rabbit hole, you go down, like, searching through all of it. So I went through a little numerology phase, and I took out this book from the library, and in the front, someone had written in it, something tries to rule the world, but art changes the world. And I was just like, wow. It's, like, so funny how, like, certain messages find you when you need to hear them, right? And when we think of art artistic expression, even something as simple as cosplay. Pokey, I followed your friend, your fellow cosplayer. She followed me back too, and so it just, I've met so many cool people, including you guys, just from us sharing the stories that we love, right? And it's been such a pleasure, such joy to have you guys love characters like Jessica Cruz, who like, who the heck? Like, I can talk to anybody like here around, like they don't know who the heck Jessica Cruz is, right? And that's the whole, I think the trick behind it all, and why I do love Green Lantern a lot, is because of the symbolic meaning behind them. That, you know, through just one symbol, there's all of this like juicy, deep other stuff underneath it. Is the Green Lantern oath. Let's do it. You guys ready? Oh, you know what? I will do the oath proper, because I was doing it just for fun last time, and when I was reading it, and on my YouTube, someone's like, say it with your chest next time. Say it with feeling. So I want you guys to say it along with me. And in this comic book, I'm going to read you guys as well. The Green Lantern Oath is how you power up the ring, right? And that is also the importance of your throat chakra and like really feeling what you're saying. So are you guys ready? I hope I do it right. Watch me like stress because I'm nervous. In brightest day, in blackest night, let no evil escape my sight. Let all those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light. Boom! All right, baby. I need like a chorus behind me and some more music, but I think because my hubby's a DJ, we can probably I appreciate that. I just got chills doing that too. And if we could all say that together, you know how powerful that is? I actually have all the other oaths written down too. So I'm going to share that with you guys. And also, as I get my other live stream ready, I want you guys to know, like, you in your own head, in your own regular, let's call it your alter ego life, your non-superhero life that you just live, that you think is mundane, but it's not mundane at all, that you have your own oaths that you say to yourself, your own promises that you can make to yourself, right? So just to be aware of that, and that the power of it, you know. So even like when I go to the gym, a big trick I have is like when you're trying to go to that heavier weight and you're pushing it, you just say to yourself, this is lightweight, baby, like Ronnie Coleman and those, if you guys are familiar with bodybuilding, lightweight, baby, or like, you got this, girl. Like, to be your own hype person, to like cheer yourself on, to do that for yourself, right? To do that for others, because it's such an Ouroboros. It feeds itself back, right? The more we're like, ugh, why does she have that? That also comes back. And then we wonder, because I've done that, and then it comes back, you're like, well, why don't I get picked for it? Well, maybe if you weren't such a sour ass puss, then, you know, yeah, buddy. Oh my gosh, you caught it, Chris. Yes, baby. Yeah, buddy. Lightweight. Everybody want to be a bodybuilder, but no one wants to live any heavy ass weight, right? So, Gwen Stacy, Ghost Spider, hello, welcome, and thank you. Now time to do the other colors. Oh yes, let me find my I wrote them all down in my notebook. I'm like one of those crazy people who have like 5 million notebooks with different scribbles of everything, of all just like random stuff, and then I'll go back later. Like some of this is just like my workout split, and then other things are like the Tao of weightlifting. What does it mean to cultivate strength in yourself? Strength is a benevolent card in the tarot deck. Like that. You know, so your own, like, your thought stream as it comes. Because sometimes as it comes, you're like, wow, that was good. You deserve to write it down. So that, like, later you can maybe revisit it and get some hope, right? Some inspiration. Let me find it. I should have. So do you guys have a favorite lantern? Is it green? Green is actually, wasn't initially my favorite Green Lantern, as I was saying to Guy Gardner before. Sometimes the Green Lanterns can feel a little militant, right? Because it can feel almost like it's got that military complex associated with it, especially like John Stewart. And not to say there's anything wrong with it, but it's just a certain way it's been described. Let's see here. Celtic tree, nature's apothecary. Oh my gosh. Notes of a scattered consciousness. Cosmic comic book club for you guys. Oh, the 8 genies. Oh, here we go. I found them. Okay, guys. They are kind of space cops. They are space cops, right? But I like the word guardian better. Something more like protector. In my Dragon Warriors book, the way I have it is that you can play the game as either a dragon warrior or a dragon knight. And typically warriors are women and knights are men. But that doesn't mean as a man you can't play as a warrior and as a woman you can't play as a knight. It just means that the armor associated with those characters in my game have a certain outfit associated. So if you want to wear just like boobies and whichever, then that's on you. You can be a warrior too. But I have the woman aspect as being a warrior, and I have the knight as being, like think about it this way. If we think of like yin and yang and the passive and aggressive principles, like masculine and feminine, there's this level of if women are doing magic stuff, right? I can't be like fighting off bad guys at the same time. That's like way too much. You need to have you need a circle of safety. You need like your guardians, your knights around you so that like women can do the magic stuff. Or like even in D&D, like the more fighters and straight on physical fighters are creating a barrier so that like more magic users can do things that are like ranged, right? So it's the strategy of it, I suppose. Oh, Tanner, James Gunn needs to hire you for like, it's funny, right? I like James Gunn. I also like Joss Whedon, and even though both of these guys have ended up with these kind of like weird Me Too things, I would like to say that I do think that we should try to do our best to let artwork stand on its own. When I was in university, I studied a lot of the classics, so the Iliad and the Odyssey. And Homer, when he wrote the Iliad, he is known as in the beginning to like beseech the muses so that he can tell the story in the way that it needs to be told. Because it's not this ownership over the story, right? It's that you are a conduit from that etheric realm, that realm of imagination and unseen to pull it down here, right? We all need more Guy Gardners. Are you a Guy Gardner fan? I was saying Guy Gardner's like the Han Solo of the Green Lantern Corps. The rogue. If he was in D&D, he'd be the rogue character. Where Hal Jordan, I know I love Hal Jordan just because that's just my type. Rebellious. And we also talked to you about how Guy and Hal Jordan are actually pretty good friends. Oh my goodness, I'm breaking stuff down. I shouldn't lead on this. All right, guys, let me just make sure. Ryan Reynolds' wife right here. Did you guys see the whole thing with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds? So sad. I do get the vibe that Blake Lively's a bit of a mean girl. And I feel like Ryan Reynolds just like caught up in the fact that like your wifey's just a little mean, buddy. Sorry. She's not gonna be mean to you, but she's gonna probably be mean to other people. Thanks, Tanner. Oh, yes. So before I get into that, Pokey, mean girls are fun. Are you being sarcastic, Pokey? I don't know. I went to an all-girls Catholic school, which was basically like mean girls. But you know what saved me and all of that, you guys? Drama. Doing drama. And learning how to have a bit more fun with your persona, that kind of thing. Because if you don't put too much stake into it and realize you are playing a certain role, like I'm playing Jessica, but I'm also Jean Grey, and I'm also Supergirl, and I'm also Batgirl, and I'm also Rachel Z, right? So you in your own world and life, and to people who love you, you are going to play certain roles for them. And so I recommend you play out those roles to the highest level that you're capable of, because it's kind of necessary. I'm just saying. All right, so let's do the Green Lantern oath again, and then we'll do some of the other oaths as well. In brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. And let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light. Now remember, also green when it comes to chakras or energy levels is actually the heart chakra. right? So it's interesting because in DC lore, the Green Lanterns are will, right? So it's like your will is what helps to transmute things like fear or lower vibration frequencies, right? Oh, Jacob, thank you. This is one of my favorites. Jessica, how should I put it? Rachel Z at like base level is most like Jessica and Batgirl at this level, like playing like I'm sober reality girl. Because I'll tell you this actually after I do the other oaths. So there's the Star Sapphire, blah, 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 blah. We used to go to war for women like this. I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to actually requote one of my viewers who said something really lovely the other day, because I love muscle cars. Guys, like I'm an Aries rising and I have a lot of Aries placements. So if you guys have joined me for Astro, you know that like certain aspects in your chart, to me, in your character sheet of this D&D game of life, they tell you certain clues about yourself. So I love muscle cars, fast roller coasters, the thrill of life, right? It is story time. Yeah. And one of my viewers had said to me that, like, you know, because you name your car after women. You just do. Like, our motorcycle is named Indra. Although in Vedic traditions, Indra could technically be a masculine name, but typically you're naming your cars, your boats after women. And it's because, like, as you said, you go to war for love, right? And it's like this idea of, like, out of anything, that's why lovers become fighters. Because if you didn't care, you just like, whatever. Like, you want to take it? Take her. I don't care if you take her. But if you love something and you love somebody and someone's just trying to take them from you, you're going to fight back. I would hope I would. Like, or like if you're hurting someone I love, I'm going to step in and stop them. Like, just let that happen, because that is what love is, right? It is action. It is that. It's not just like, oh, I love you. Well, that's great. You gotta show me, right? You show me love. I've never named my vehicle. Ooh, Switch Crispy. Interesting. That's cool. Maybe you want to think about. To me, this is just a me thing, because I've been this way ever since I was a kid. In Aboriginal cosmology, there's this concept of a Manitou, like Gitche Manitou. Now, Gitche Manitou, you can hear the outside sounds of the city here in Toronto, but Gitche Manitou, and I was born in Manitoba, right, means like it's the creator spirit, right? This idea how in every cosmology, every mythology from around the world, we have this idea of like creator. So what does it mean to be created? Now, an interesting thing when it comes to Manitou is this concept that Manitou is anything. And you as a creator being yourself, it's like you gift Manitou onto other things. So for example, this Green Lantern uniform, this symbol right here, right? The ring when I get it on Monday, they are meaningless without your consciousness bringing power to it, right? Otherwise, it's just metal. It's just nothing, right? It requires all of us to like believe in it, and not just believe in it like yeah like I love you. I mean like when you say the oath, like really feel it through your heart and say it like you mean it, and enunciate each word, verbalize it, like finish the sentence, right? Like say what you need to say and open up that throat chakra and let it out. Because even Zatanna, that's how she does her powers, right? She speaks backwards. It comes from I speak, and like abracadabra, I create as I speak. So be aware of your words that you use for yourself and those that you love and all that kind of good stuff. Remember how powerful you are. Am I Filipino? I am part Filipino. My mom's Filipino. My dad is South African. So, and I was born in the prairies. So I like to call myself, I am a lantern fan. I love the lore of the lanterns. I actually pulled up some nerdy stuff with you guys to talk about the forces of the DC universe. I'm Jessica Cruz, your Green Lantern. I'm going to read you some other oaths, actually. So, in case Green Lanterns are not your lanterns, there's other lanterns as well. So, Star Sapphire, they are the lanterns that represent love. Now, the love lanterns, like Hal Jordan, for example, and Carol Ferris, who's a Star Sapphire, Star sapphire is actually also a beautiful gemstone. Look it up. I would love to find a star sapphire. Look it up. It's such a gorgeous, gorgeous stone. Now, interesting note, this is a side note for you guys as well. The crystal that's in the Green Lantern ring, when I played as Supergirl, one of my friends was like, oh my gosh, Supergirl, you just be careful of those green crystals, right? So I'm like, oh, like kryptonite is also very green. And it's just interesting when it comes to like the color theory of green, how green can be like the forest and money and emerald, but it can also be like sickly and like evil, like in a heavy metal with Tarna, like the green orb is like evil, right? So that's with symbols is also something to note, the context in which that symbol's put in. And bringing this to star sapphire is that star sapphires are actually known as like being villains in the DC universe, right? I'm Sapphire. I had birthdays a couple days ago. Love it, love it. And you're from Alberta. Hey, Prairie Province. My Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba crew. Prairie provinces love, right? Something special out there in the prairies, I tell you. Okay, star sapphires. For hearts long lost and full of fright, for those alone in blackest night, accept our ring and join our fight. Love conquers all with violet light. So that's the star sapphire. They think like just love conquers all. And it's actually fun because John Stewart, who is like the most, I would say, like by the book Green Lantern representative of that, he gets into a relationship with what's her name, like Fatality. She's like a star sapphire and she's so sassy and she's like, this is so like not complicated. Love conquers all. What is there to really know? I love you, you love me. What the heck is the problem, right? But you know, all the other stuff I guess is the complicated part, right? He's like, it's not that complicated. It is more complicated than what you're making it seem. Oh, the real Phil 88. Hello, Saskatchewan. How's it going? I got a speeding ticket in Saskatchewan once when I was a Kokanee Glacier girl. We were late because this was way back in the day when they used to do like promo model stuff. So Kokanee, the beer, me and my two friends, Angel and Sarah, we drove from like Winnipeg to Whistler and we stopped at every major Canadian city and we did like we were giving away tickets to the ski and snowboard festival. So you know, I don't know if gigs like that exist anymore, but it was a lot of fun. But I got a speeding ticket in Saskatchewan because I forget what the speed limit was, but I was going 100 over. And the freaking cop guy jumps out in the middle of the road. It's like, stop. And I'm like, press on the brake, like, super. I'm like, oh my gosh. And like, I stop right in front of him. He comes around to the side. And of course, there's like 3 cute girls. And so we're like, okay, maybe we can bribe him with swag. Nope. $300 ticket. I'm like, I'm not even from this province. He's like, you'll get it in the mail. And I did. Oh my gosh, so crazy. My daughter has star sapphires ring. Very cool, John McNary. I love that. Spreading love throughout the universe, because that's the thing about the star sapphire ring too, is that it's a bit parasitic, and it actually has a great way of explaining how love kind of feels like sometimes. You know, like I've been in love with people that I probably shouldn't have been in love with. And love makes you do crazy things, right? And so I think the star sapphire ring is kind of indicative of that too, right? This idea of like, oh, I love you, but then you don't love me back. And so then the jealousy that ensues from it is something that is like the shadow side of it. And being able to have a more mature way of expressing love. Like love is not like possessing and like, you're mine, my precious love just for me. It's freedom, right? Because if you truly love someone, something, you have the freedom to let them be exactly who they need to be. And if it's not with you, then so be it. You have to have the courage in yourself to be able to let them go. Hey, Voice of One. Yeah, thank you for joining. Okay, so that was the Star Sapphire Oath. That was good. Love conquers all with violet's light. And it's cool too, because violet from a chakra level is actually more associated with your crown chakra. So I love this idea of like, in this symbology, it's like your crown chakra is like you're tethered to like the divine. So through love, you are able to have access to higher realms. Like that's my read of it. So then The Red Lantern core, which I feel like I might have been a holder of a Red Lantern core ring. I had a lot of rage, which I needed to like alchemize in myself. So Red Lantern core, with blood and rage of crimson red, we fill men's souls with darkest dread. Together with our hellish hate, we'll burn you all. That is your fate. Nice oath, Red Lanterns. And then we've got the Blue Lantern core. In fearful day, in raging night, with strong hearts full, our souls ignite. When all seems lost in the war of light, look to the stars, for hope burns bright. The Blue Lantern core are pretty cool too. The Flash actually is like an honorary holder of the Blue Lantern ring, which represents hope. The other lantern rings that I haven't talked about, of course, is yellow, which is fear, which is kind of misunderstood. There's orange, which is greed or avarice. I think it's a bit more complex than that. And then there's indigo, which is compassion. And these rings together, only when learning how to work with each other, that's how we end up being, enlightened state of being, that kind of thing. Just hidden in a comic book. Let's see here. Oh, thank you, Bear Fuzzbutt. Great name, by the way. It's fun playing Jessica. So I'm going to just let you guys in on some Jessica stuff. And then I actually have a comic book that features both Jessica and Hal Jordan. This one right here. I need to not mirror it. One sec. So we can read along with me. It's Grant Morrison. I was actually watching YouTube the other day where a YouTuber was like, why I don't like Grant Morrison's Green Lantern. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, right? You don't have, like, even when I was talking to a guy, he's like, oh, Hal Jordan. I'm like, oh, I love Hal Jordan. I don't love Ryan Reynolds' version of him, but the reason why I love Hal is just, like, he's like a cowboy, he loves the wide open spaces, and I picture that Hal would be like someone who was he was a test pilot, right? And his dad died in like a plane accident, like in a fiery plane accident. So what he did to alchemize that fear was become a test pilot himself. So he is afraid every single time he steps into a plane, but you do it anyways, that kind of thing, right? So, okay. Jessica Cruz, Green Lantern of Sector 2814. Funny thing about that sector as well, which contains Earth as we know it, Earth Prime, but there's also like Earth 3 and all the different universes as well. So in the multiple versions in the multiverse, Jessica gets a ring of fear first. Now there's multiple ways this happens. One of them is apparently Jessica... someone dies, and from that, Sinestro and Hal get into a fight, and Sinestro dies, and I think that fear ring, or like the Volthoom ring, something happens where it seeks Jessica out because she is full of fear. Like, Jessica is so relatable to me because she deals with mental health issues. Like, even as a Green Lantern, even as a superhero, she has to pull all her anxiety in check every single time. And, like, that just goes to show, like, no matter how much you got together, how much you've healed past trauma, it's not a straight line. And, like, I can tell you, like, sometimes things will hit me that I thought I healed, like, 10 years ago. And I'm like, oof, oh, why am I reacting in that way? Like, why is this hurting so much still? I thought I was done with it because Nightwing said this once about, like, his parents dying and talking to this kid was asking him about it. And he's like, the pain doesn't go away. It just stays. You just get better of, like, dealing with it, right? And that's just one thing to note about, like, I guess our culture as well, which is kind of uncomfortable with uncomfortable feelings. Like, depression's a real thing. All of the mental health stuff it is a very real thing. However, if your best friend dies, or your mom dies, or something horrible happens, you will be sad. You will have grief. You will feel awful. And that's normal. It would be not normal if you were just fine about it. I read somewhere once about how when you love someone, when you love anyone, anything, when you eventually say goodbye, you have to have the courage of what it means in terms of grief, of what that means when it ends, right? Because that's why you're like, well, if I never fall in love, then I can never be hurt, right? But then you'll never fall in love. So it's just, it's just one of those things. Oh, thank you. I love that you have a lot of Green Lantern. Do you have a particular storyline that you like the most? Be rooting end. I love the biggest thing I love about Green Lantern is their lore behind it. Like, it's like an iceberg, right? When you're telling a story in that comic book, to tell the story, you have to have almost all these other sub-stories and mythos that's underneath it. And I love, like,
Bluetooth is disconnected.
Thank you, Bluetooth. I love, like, the whole, like, the Blackest Night prophecy, right? And I love the concept of, like, cosmic destiny, that kind of stuff. So the Green Lanterns and the way that they tap into power, even Dr. Manhattan in Doomsday Clock is very interested in the Green Lanterns. Okay, so Noam, hi. Okay, so let's do a quick read. I'm going to do this for the next 20 minutes, and then we'll wrap, and then tomorrow we'll probably have a DJ dance set. And just to let you guys know, on Saturday, I am launching my book, finally, The Dragon Warriors Battle for Mount Olympus, Part 1 and Part 2, which also features an RPG game within it, right, which features you activating all of your chakras, right, all of your energy centers, and that's how you activate to the warrior or knight that you are in the game. So I have that's all launching on Saturday. Yay! I'm also having a party that evening. You can kind of see I'm going to be doing part of it live on TikTok for subscribers only, which is going to feature a sneak peek into the trailer, Escape from District 6. And I'm not getting, oh my gosh, you of course are getting an invite. I do have, as I said, you guys, a virtual version of it, for subs and members only, because you're going to get a sneak peek at certain trailers for the movie that I'm crowdfunding, Escape from District 6, which is the spiritual successor to Escape from LA, Escape from New York by John Carpenter. I'm trying to find John Carpenter to ask him if I can use Snake Plissken as a character, like if Snake Plissken could appear in the story, right, as some, like, because it's a way of, in my universe, there's like a cosmic blockbuster where, like, each of our lives exists as like a VHS tape, and dragons love stories. So, like, there's a bunch of dragons that love, like, renting videos from the cosmic blockbuster. Hello, Michael Jackson music. Super fans, not subscribers on TikTok. Yes, let's see here. Yes, not just subs. It's going to be part of it will be live on TikTok, but then the rest of it will be behind it. But today's read, I'm Jessica Cruz, so we're going to read a Green Lantern comic book with my favorite Green Lantern, which is Hal Jordan, even though Guy Gardner was giving him a hard time earlier. Hal Jordan is my favorite Green Lantern, not only just because he is, I love how he's introduced in this, like, the legendary, the greatest Green Lantern, Hal Jordan. Because in all of his stories that I've read with him, he's had to make a lot of, like, hard decisions. And I think that what gets passed over in a lot of the live action is the relationships that happen between characters like Hal and Barry, Hal and Oliver Queen. Oh my, I always mix him up with, like, Steve McQueen for some weird reason. I don't know why. The Ohio Spider, welcome. So let's just go right into the read. This is Grant Morrison. So the illustrator, hold on, Liam Sharp. Oh yes. So I'm not going to read you the whole thing because this is a huge book, but I'm going to read you a section. Oh, so I'll give you guys a synopsis of this before we get into what I'm actually going to read you. So we get into a universe where the Green Lanterns don't exist, and it's just like, remember I told you about how the Green Lanterns are kind of like dystopic? So they kind of like take over the universe here, but it's really like a construct because of the Miracle Machine. So I'll just jump into it and we'll go from there. And so we've got Superman here with his son in this universe, okay? And Shazam is there behind him. Don't we have enough to deal with? Get out of my way, Dad. I'm trying to do my best for everyone. Let me go. I know what you're trying to do. I know how You spread your Black Star ideology. I want you out of here. If I see you or your zealots within 10 light years of my sun, it's an all-out war. So this whole thing is just a construct that they eventually get out of. There's like a vampire who's in love with Hal Jordan. I'm just going to skip that. This might be a read for another time in the future. It's a good story. But it's like one of those things where like the whole thing kind of takes place in like a dream or like an alternate reality. So it's like, did that really happen? It's like, I started a war. Illustrations are good. Heart of Emptiness. Maybe. All right, I'll go from here. Got the vampire chickie. I won't go from that. All right, let's do it, baby. I might have OCPD, but overthink. Oh my goodness. I feel like that's the curse of being very intelligent too, right? Like if you're overthinking, you're always thinking of all the different possibilities that could ever happen at once. It can almost paralyze what you're doing in the moment, right? Which is, I think that's why some of us who are all in our heads a lot like things that are thrilling, right? Like working out, because you're forced to turn all of everything off but the focus on like, okay, don't die, right? Or you need all of your attention to be focused on one task as opposed to like having it all over in like 5 million different directions, right? Yeah, at least that's what I think. Okay. Our Black Star Parallax is a gifted and charismatic disassembler, as well as a blasphemous traitor to our cause. He dares say Mu is dead. As long as we live, Mu can never die. Without control that is absolute, there can only be chaos and division, Parallax preaches. Peace through control, obedience without question. This is the will of Mu. A peace you can't enforce without violence, which is what Hal retorts back to her. Loyalty you can't inspire without punishment and torture. You're using the Black Stars to pacify whole planets for the slaughter. How is that different from the armed justice administered by your lost guardians? Your lanterns. Tell me that. Lanterns? You said that they didn't exist. Only in my dreams. Oh, they existed. My dear, until you wished them into oblivion. Until you used the miracle machine to make this universe in Mu's name. Oh, this is Grant Morrison, I watched a YouTube video actually not that recently, about how Grant Morrison and like Alan Moore, who's like my other favorite comic book author, they both write in very cosmological terms. So, Alan Moore doesn't do a lot of Green Lantern. He has done it. There's actually a one-off story about Abinsur's daughter that I'm going to read you guys at some point. But it is fantasy. I would call it science fiction fantasy. My favorite genre. the combination of the two. Okay. Mu had a plan and some kind of weird purity. You, Countess? All you have to offer is a hunger that can never be satisfied. To think I came so close to trusting you. We have a place prepared for the treacherous, for all of you. A house of torment and despair where horrors hold court. Oh, speak of the devil. Atrocious. Look, you just showed up. Holla. Welcome to the read. We're doing a Green Lantern read. Nice to see you. I think we might have even done your oath. Okay, so the war ensues. God, Jordan, Black Stars stand together. Thanks for the save, Grun. Traitors, die. Asshat. Please don't make me do this. You know who the bad guys are here, kid. This is your time to make a difference. Do the right thing, Superboy. Go. Go. We'll cover you, Parallax. So they're calling, because this is a world where the Green Lanterns don't exist because of the miracle machine, right? But remember, it's a misdirect. Let me skip ahead a little bit because she goes off about stuff. Because she wants to, like, marry Hal Jordan. Because even this vampire lady thinks that Hal Jordan's pretty hot. No, we could have shared the universe. Now look at you, dying with that stupid grin on your face. We could have conquered worlds, consumed stars till the heavens were bled dry. We could have mated, and I'd have bitten your head off. And Hal's like, oh my gosh, yeah, that sounds great. You can't deny your nature, and I can't help mine. I've always had a problem with authority. It all balances out. It's my duty to rebel. The guardians rely on me to question their methods. It's my job to challenge the people in power. Well said, Hal. However, this started out, Elizabeth, or Beelzebeth, however noble the master's plan. And believe me, I almost bought into the whole damn thing. It's all gone to hell. You had a shot at paradise and you just couldn't help yourself. Greed was your undoing. I guess it's a vampire thing. We didn't erase the universe and replace it? You made this thing using a dead parallel universe? You think you can trap me here? And then Hal's like, way I see it, everybody wins. I go back home to my universe and lock the door behind me. You get to live your dream right here as an intergalactic public enemy #1 on the Black Star's wanted list. All it takes is a wish. There's just one thing I don't get. I know it wasn't love, but why me? And she says, I wonder. All right, guys, that's where I'm going to leave it for tonight. Thank you for joining me for this read. I think we'll come back to this read a little bit later when it's more, actually, I'm going to end it with Jessica Cruz actually being on the panel, because that's what the whole point of this show is. And her and Hal talk about being yin and yang. To go a little bit back. I love, the illustrations are kind of gorgeous as well. Us Tauruses are never true that. That is so true. You definitely, I think all of us with a wicked imagination have that in common. Why can't I find it now when I need it? I love this. The Green Lantern's light. You say the oath. Powered up. Love it. Love it, love, love it. Oh, one sec. Speaking of Green Lanterns, I need to do a lantern hit. Oh. All right, guys. Ooh, whew. A lady was upset that I left and said no one ever cares about me. I don't know, like, I don't know if I'm reading what you're asking exactly right, but I'm going to just say that oftentimes women, if they do like you, they're not necessarily going to like it if you put yourself down, because it's something like, why the heck do I like you then? You need to love yourself first too, right? A lot of that like glow can come from that. Actually, hold on. Let me read this. Lantern Hal Jordan of Space Sector 2814. You fulfilled your mission, thereby neutralizing the threat of Controller Mu. In doing so, you saved the universe again. And every time this happens, I tell you the same thing. I'm only doing my job. Lantern True here deserves the credit for her bravery, not me. Indeed. In a career both distinguished and extraordinary, you already possess every honor we guardians of the universe can bestow. How to reward a man who needs or expects nothing? Your new upgraded power battery. Promised some time ago, you may find some of its features interesting. Time to speak the oath and recharge your power ring, Lantern Jordan. All together now. In brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light. And they power up the rings, all together now. So then the next mission happens, there's a symposium, and you can see here Jessica and Hal are meeting, right? So here it says, like, Jon Stewart's trying to say to Hal, like, hey, you should come visit the homestead. Earth every once in a while. So he says, so when can we expect you to see you back on terra firma for more than 5 minutes? The Justice League could use a visit. Say hi to the good guys, but no thanks. Earth feels like a backyard when I was a kid, before I knew there was a whole big world out there. I gotta have the wide open spaces, John, or I go stir crazy. And then Jessica steps in. I step in saying, for me, it's the opposite. I hate wide open spaces because I have anxiety. We're like yin and yang. Hey, Jess, what's up? I was just talking to Hal about how he ought to drop by the old homestead now and again. Oh, don't worry. I get it. You can't go home ever again, right? Pretty much. Secret missions. Have fun on planet Earth. And Hal is out. So it's just what he was saying. Like, he's like that cowboy who, like, he's from Earth and Earth is his home planet and it's always going to be home. But, you know, you're an explorer, a traveler, you break new ground. You need to be out there in the wide open spaces, exploring new terrain and doing all that kind of stuff. That's right. The core is here, baby. And that's why Jessica takes over guarding the sector of 2814 because, you know, she takes over, right? She also has a partner, Simon. We can talk a little bit about that next time I come live, you guys. But otherwise, Migs, hey, how's it going? You just caught me. We're just finishing off, you guys. I did a little bit of talk about the lore of Green Lanterns, right? And just a little bit of the oaths and how important your throat chakra is and your voice in empowering yourself and others around you, that kind of good stuff. And so I will just end this live with just a quick reminder to all of you guys that it takes true courage, right? In a world where being yourself is a revolutionary act, to have the courage to be completely full stop yourself when the other color lanterns fight. You know what? It is true, right? Because you get to see, it's like when the gods fight kind of thing, where these are also essences within yourself. Because if you think about where the lanterns get their power from, which is emotion, like where will, love, hope, compassion, all the different essences, it's like whenever we are dealing with certain story arcs in our own life, what parts, what powers, what aspects of ourselves are we going to bring to the table to deal with it, right? So I wish you guys all the best in terms of walking that walk and doing that mission, right? In the cosmic game of life, because the universe is counting on you. Remember that. But no worries, I got your back. Until next time, guys. Bye.